Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Isaac and Friends figure review. Yes, if you're noticing, I'm wearing some sunglasses because I figured I might as well try and cover my half asleep Aspergian eyebrows. So, today we're going to be looking at the RX 78 2 Master Grade 1.5 figure. And yes, I did a little bit of more panel lining because, well, I'm bored and I have nothing but time. Because I'm 32 with a cat. Meow. Hi, Moon Pie. Yes, Moon Pie is here. Do I need to give you treats so you don't hop on the table? Probably. And here he is, the RX 78 2, the original Gundam, as piloted by Amuro Ray. I personally enjoy this particular design and figurine. He's actually pretty interesting and neat. I've painted it up a little bit more, did a little bit more of the panel lining and things like that as much as I could with what I had available to try and spruce him up for this video. And honestly, considering other things that I've done before, I think I've shown you guys the little tiny stormtrooper that I used to do this kind of stuff with. Here's our little friend once again. As you can see, I used to paint like hundreds of these little buggers as a hobby. So, something like a 1/100th scale Master Grade Gundam. Hi, kitty. Moonpie wants attention. Yeah, you do. I know. 1/100th scale Gundam is, well, a bit easier to do. Bit of paint and some toilet paper, and you just basically brush aside the excess and leave the panel lining. So from our first impression, it's definitely a handsome boy, especially once you get him all painted up and taken care of. Not a bad looking figure at all. Now, there are, of course, upgraded versions of this guy. There's the second version, the third version, and the version Kai. I actually got this 1.5 at Pensacon while I was up there doing that. I'm looking at possibly getting more figures in the next couple of weeks, so I'll be waiting to get those, paint them up, spruce them up, make them all shiny before we start doing reviews for them. For those of you not familiar with the RX 78 2 Gundam, this thing was purposely designed by Amuro Ray's father as an answer to Zeon's Zaku from the original Gundam series. When the RX-78 was actually designed, built, and created, it was the Federation's first and only mobile suit design. Prior to that, Zeon pretty much had absolute reign of whatever they wanted with the Zaku, and later with the Zaku 2. Amuro, with the equivalent training of, oh look, a manual, would end up taking control of the Gundam after his home colony was attacked by Zeon. Later becoming an ace pilot by, well, one, because of the fact that the Gundam actually has its own self-learning computer, making it quite capable of virtually anyone with a little bit of understanding of how to pilot the dang thing and a little bit of time flying it, could virtually become an ace pilot in no time. Of course, there's also the ever so patented Bright Noah slap of Ace Ship. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Bright Noah is the commander of White Base, the home of the RX-78 2 in the original series. Bright Noah would be a recurring character throughout the entire Universe Century Gundam series in general. And it would appear that pretty much every single pilot that Bright Noah basically slapped would become an ace. And Amuro Ray would become the aces of aces, it would seem, simply because Bright Noah kicked the ever-living crap out of him. Because, after 6 days of barely sleep and food and constantly fighting an enemy, that he was the only one that could pilot the machine that could fight them in, kind of got on his nerves after a while. And when Mr. Bright is sitting there going, look, buddy, I appreciate you haven't slept or ate very much, but we're all in this right now. I've got a ship full of kids, old people that are complaining, and a whole lot worse. So if I gotta kick the snot out of a whiny kid to get him to get his butt back into the robot, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And sure enough, Amuro Ray would become essentially the ace pilot of the Earth Federation during the 1-year war. So let's take a look at this thing that Amuro had to get into, well, quite frequently. Alright, as you've noticed, I've removed his shield and beam rifles so we can get a better look at his hands and torso. And, alright, get out of here with this dead meme crap. Next thing I'll see is freaking, do you know the way? But I guess this has a great example for us to see. As you can see, the fingers here are articulated. Joint here, joint here. The thumb is on a ball joint, which allows it to move freely on its socket. Hand is also on a ball joint. Arm moves up and down. You gotta be a little bit careful with that. Can twist as well. Has a nice little panel gimmick where this opens up and closes. Arm goes like this. 360-degree turn. Head is on a ball joint so you can swivel. Look up, down, all around. No waist swivel, but that is okay because the way that this thing works is if you pop him off his top, you can get a core fighter. Come on, there we go. And as you can see, the core fighter can transform. A little bit of parts forming here. Voila! There are some wheels that go on the bottom of this, but I don't feel like trying to dig out the particular thing for it. Because I use the Gundam Universe figure plastic to actually store the extra bits in these things. And before I did this, I didn't actually dig that out. I might actually have to do that to show you guys the beam saber here. We're going to pop him back in. Now there is another core with a paintable Amuro in there. I do not possess a brush small enough for that. So I don't possess a brush small enough and I don't have a microscope. Of course, the torso here, it has a little hatch that opens up so you can take a look at the pilot. These guys move a little bit. Goodness gracious. Florida, I swear. Didn't help that I live in the oldest apartments in my city. So, of course, the roaches live in the freaking walls. Ugh. Sorry about nasty critter. But these flaps do move up. You can kick. Double jointed legs with nice little piston gimmicks in there. Whoa, hello.
Yeah, these can have a tendency to fall off sometimes, but thankfully you can just pop them back on. No big deal. Ta-da! See, not bad. Let that guy in. Foot is on a ball joint with a small hinge. Allows it to pivot, move up and down, swivel a little bit, but not too much. Legs can go all the way back. Doing some Gundam yoga here. Goodness gracious. Sometimes I think you might have to glue these little things on if you're interested in doing that. I personally don't. See if we can get this guy in there correctly. Just want him to match up to the other side here. There we go. And ba-boom. Of course, it's the same thing with the other leg. And we'll reattach everything here. There. There are some more panel gimmicks at the back of his calves and his legs. Unfortunately, with this version, these don't really open up that far. And to be fair, they don't really line up that well. So it's actually kind of best to not even mess with the panel gimmick. It's kind of cool. In other versions, I think there's like the panels actually move with the figure movement. I think if you want to see one of the newer versions, you can check out Jobby the Hong, a great YouTuber. I watched some of his stuff myself. I actually enjoy some of his figure reviews. Hopefully he doesn't mind too much that I do Gundam. But, yeah, it's not that bad of a figure. There's not really, as certain someone call a beautiful spread. It's an okay spread. But, you know, for me, I paid $50 for this guy. You can get him online for $30. To be honest, I actually enjoy him. He's fun. He comes with a number of different accessories. He comes with his iconic shield, his extra bits for innards, his gun. He also comes with a couple of extra pairs of hands that you can build for his thing. Okay, now I just had the bazooka. Where the heck did the bazooka go? Not this bazooka. That goes to the RX-93. Moonpie, did you eat the gun's bazooka? Are you that jealous that I'm talking about buildable figures and not petting you right now? Moonpie is currently moping underneath the Gundam right now. Where did I put that? 1 second, guys. So I did find the bazooka, eventually. You want to know where it was? Right on my desk where I left it. I swear, sometimes I'm blind as a bat. Because this thing was just sitting there, right where it was, where I left it. Joyous. Now, there is, of course, the Gundam hammer, which... that's a flail. That's not a hammer. That's a flail. I couldn't or decided not to put it together simply for the fact that I do have jewelry making needle nose pliers. But with the tiny little chain they gave me, I wasn't sure I wanted to risk it. I mean, yeah, it's a $50 plastic thing, and for a weapon I'd probably never display or
play with it, because, yeah, that's actually why I like these figures, is because you can actually play with them. They're fun models that you can actually, well, play with as action figures. And I enjoy that fact. But there are some things that just make me question why. For example, when I was building the RX-78, I had to finagle some Phillip head, not a Phillip head, a flathead screwdriver to screw in part of his kneecap. Because while the box tells you that it's glue-free, what it doesn't tell you is you might need a screwdriver to put stuff together. Guess I'm gonna have to go to the hardware store before I build any more of these things. Alright then. Now for a size comparison. Here's one of our previous reviews, the Sandrock Gundam. The High New Gundam. The Gundam Universe RX-78. And yeah, he's a pretty sizable boy. If I'm being rather honest, I rather enjoy this handsome little devil. He's fun to play with, fun to put together, and I enjoy him at least. I enjoy, even if it's just doing paint corrections, I like this guy. He's fun to toy with, fun to pose. Overall, a great figure in my personal opinion. Now, are there other figures that are newer, like there are newer versions of him that are arguably better? But for my humble little 1.5, I'm happy. So, this little guy, I give him my 9 out of 10. Simply because, well, there are features that are rough. Like these caps keep falling off. And, I mean, the flap armor is cool, I guess. But it needs to align a bit better. Thankfully, as far as I know, they've fixed that in some of the newer models. So we'll see what else we find in any of our new master grade or real grade figures that we get a hold of. Although I think I'll stick with the 100 models, so I'll probably just be getting master grade. And, well, I don't got money for perfect grade. I work retail, folks. 120 bucks is about as much as I'm going to spend on a Gundam. Okay? Unless you guys want to like, subscribe, and comment down below, which I do encourage you to do. Or, you know, hey, feel free to give us a tip and all that goodness. I'm going to have to work with the budget I got. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed making it. And I'll see you next time, you beautiful sons of guns, for the next Gundam review.